Welcome back, guys. This is part 3 of my Mitanni-Hurrian-Vedic connection video. Now, just to get one thing out of the way first, the Hurrian population, indigenous population of northern Syria themselves, were not Semitic. They were neither Indo-European or Semitic. They were a language isolated group that spoke a language based on the Sumerian cuneiform language, and their writing system was based on the Sumerian cuneiform system. So whether they spoke a language that was derived, like they themselves were Sumerians that evolved and migrated north to Mesopotamia due to Assyrian and Babylonian migration or invasions, or rather if the Hurrian population themselves were another indigenous group around the Fertile Crescent that just was very culturally influenced by the Sumerians. We do not know, but we do know that just like the Sumerians, the Hurrian population of northern Syria were an indigenous population with their own culture, and that which was a very syncretic culture as well. They took a lot of things from other groups around them. Now, in regards to the Vedic-Aryans, the Vedic-Aryan people themselves, just like their Indo-Iranian cousins, came from a Ur-Hermit. Now, a Ur-Hermit is basically a homeland, the homeland of an original ethno-linguistic group or population. So the Ur-Hermit, or homeland of the ethno-linguistic Proto-Indo-Europeans, was in the Pontic-Caspian steppe. And the Pontic-Caspian steppe is basically where the black lines are circling, though that is basically where the Proto-Indo-Europeans lived, around the Pontic-Caspian steppe region. And another thing to note is that the red branch is one branch of Vedic-Aryans went through the red branch westwards into northern Syria, and another branch simply went eastwards through Central Asia, Kazakhstan, the Iranian plateau, until they reached the Ganges Plains and Bangladesh. But both these groups are basically the same people, the same tribes. They have the same genetic R1A haplogroup. The only difference is that one group of the Vedic Indians went westwards and one went eastwards. So rather than being cousins like the Vedic-Aryans to the Persians or the Vedic-Aryans to the Afghanis, the Vedic-Aryans that went east and the Vedic-Aryans that went west were pretty much the same people. Now, the reason why the Vedic-Aryans migrated out from the original, and by the way, the Vedic, like Sanskrit, Prakrit language pretty much evolved as soon as they reached the Central Asia and the Caucasus region. Their language family, like their languages, like Sanskrit, Persian, Avestan, the Zoroastrian literature, the writing system in the Zoroastrian holy literature is Avestan. So the Avestan and Sanskrit languages already developed when they reached the Caucasus and Central Asia. But anyway, so yeah, one group went eastwards, and whether it was for famine reasons or hostile tribes or climate, hostility to climate, for some reason they went each separate regions. And so the ones that went into northern Syria, they consisted of an elite, which is very not abnormal for an Indo-European population to do when they migrate somewhere to become either the ruling class or the military class or the religious class. And with the case for the Vedic-Aryans, both times when they went into northern Syria and northern India, they became the ruling, the religious, and the elite class. And so the Vedic-Aryans in northern Syria, they basically imposed themselves on a non-Indo-European population, which were the Hurrians. And the Hurrians were basically, and that's where the Hurrians basically learned the art of horse chariots. Horse chariots was a big part of Hurrian culture, and they learned that from the Vedic-Aryan elite. Another thing I forgot to mention is that when Indo-Europeans migrate to whatever region of the globe, whether it be the Tarim Basin in China with the Pontic-Caspians, the thing is that when they also become a colonial settling group of people, usually more often than not, their language outcompetes other languages. So just to get that out of the way. And so then what happened after the defeat of the New Kingdom of Egypt, for whatever reason, the Indo-Iranian people that were based within the Red Branch in northern Syria, they started going eastwards throughout the Iranian plateau. So the Vedic-Aryans actually reached northern Syria 16 to 17,000 years ago, and they reached, in the blue, northern India 15 to 14,000 years ago. And so the red represents the one branch and blue represents another. But the interesting thing is that the blue branch never migrated to northern Syria. They just went straight through the Iranian plateau into northern India, while the red branch made themselves quite comfortable in the Fertile Crescent. And then after the collapse of the New Kingdom of Egypt, they started migrating eastwards, probably because of political troubles. But and also they also spread, like the Slavs, the Indo-Iranians, the Tajiks, and the Afghanis. The Vedic-Aryans also had the R1a haplogroup, which they left in their respective areas, a genetic influx of their populations.